CRN. Find out more at crntalk.com.
Welcome to Heaven on Earth, a sacred portal to visualizing, meditating, and co-creating our highest joys that usher in the Golden Age of Aquarius. I'm your host, Athena StarSeed. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much. My name is Athena StarSeed, and I have my gorgeous co-host, Kim Hix, Emmy Award-winning set designer all the way from Hawaii. Aloha, Kim.
Aloha, Athena.
It's so good to be back. Boy, we've been doing this almost a month now.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call in the 4 directions and do our opening prayer, and then we will get started. Let's see here. From the point of light, within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light return to earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. Let the Christ consciousness return to earth. In the center where the will of God is known, let the center guide the little wills of men, the center which the masters know and serve, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. And may the plan of love, light, and power work out and restore heaven on earth. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Father Sky, Mother Earth, from the point of light that connects us all, let's be here in the sacred circle of light. Om. We're in.
We're in.
We're in, Kim.
Oh boy, are we in.
So tell us how your week has been in Hawaii.
Well, the week was overshadowed completely by the Golden Globes and Oprah. So it was a thrilling event to listen to the acceptance speech that she gave at the Golden Globes as she launched the concept of time's up and the accountability of the masculine to realign and serve in a proper, healthy relational way with the feminine. The new emergent feminine is now financed and is totally capable of entering the domain of fairness completely and bring an end to sort of the male dominant paradigm that has allowed this licentious, ugly behavior to fester and grow. Pretty important, major speech, a big change.
Yeah, you know, it's really important to lift up the voices of the divine feminine. And that's one thing, Kim, I've always really appreciated about you and about your work is you've been so extremely generous with pushing the women or pulling the women forward with your inspirational words and your pageantry and your magic. And I really wanted to talk about the role model that Oprah is for all women. And if you could just go into a little bit of the highlights of her speech and what really touched your heart.
She offered up the vision of a girl sitting on a linoleum floor watching the Oscars and seeing Sidney Poitier, the first black man ever to receive such an accolade, and being blown away in her little girl world to see such a beautiful man being honored. And this just set her clock in motion. It created a depth of hope in her that is now that she has risen to that stage, she too is a recipient of such an honor. And what does she do with that? She opens the door to all women around the world. She didn't keep it just to the industry. She said, this abuse must be collectively disabused, and the feminine really simply needs to be heard. These voices need to be expressed. That's what I've learned with you, Athena, is the more I listen, the more I pay attention and simply hear the story of the feminine, it becomes obvious what to do and how to embrace it and how to help heal it.
You know, ever since I was a little girl, and I remember playing on my kitchen floor too, and I remember making believe. And little girls all start out with dolls, and their first enactment is like we were talking about last show, which is the mommy and the daddy and
Yeah.
building the family and the nest and making it safe for the babies to wake up and, you know, be nurtured and loved and then play. And then that make believe sets the stage for how we are and later in our lives. And I love the way that she found a role model. She broke down all the boundaries and just went into her limitlessness. And in the center of all of us is that divine gift that when we sit and listen to that still small voice, we too can do extraordinary things because we are all the avatars of our own life, Kim.
Yes.
Brings us to our tarot card of the show, which is the Hierophant, which is the mystical structure and order of our own contextualization of how we bring the divine into this 3D world. Would you like to comment on our archetype this morning?
Well, it's quite the archetype because it being the rebellious artist type that I am and the musician creative animal, the Hierophant represents the structures of society and the limitations to a certain extent. Now, in the old days, it was meant to guide us into the high, healthy context of life and to figure out who we could become. But these days, it has been used a great deal for oppression. So I wanted to loop us back through the Hierophant to the higher purpose of the initiation and back to the man cave and the shaman. And that the shaman presents a very unique perspective on the Hierophant. He's saying that at this time, if you have a spiritual crisis, you must make it your own spiritual crisis. You must seek on your own terms to determine what your character is in the universe. And you're going to determine your character through service. So that's
that's
story.
that's actually really beautiful because speaking of service, when you realize that you are the Hierophant, that you can go beyond the structured dogma of religion and you can be your own messenger of light within that context. And, you know, as we pass the age of popes and outside external structures to define us, we can become our own sages and saints and poets and prophets and seers. And that's what this show is about. It's about having people open up their heart chakra and look inside into their treasure chest and see what magic is in there and then bring those messages forward so that we can be our own Hierophant.
Beautiful, Athena. Really beautiful. It is. This is an era of deep, personal, intense spirituality, which will be the transcendent principle for our entire culture, as each person feels empowered to pursue their own spiritual destiny.
So, what I think is really fantastic about we talked about the actor being the analogy for the soul remembering itself as God consciousness, because the actor comes into the stage or the scene and he knows that he is not what he's playing. He is the character. And we come through our lifetimes and we play character after character to collect all of this wisdom in our little pouch, just like the fool in the tarot that starts at 0. The infinite empty page. And then upon that page, we write our stories. And as we go through and we assimilate all those different archetypal structures, we embody them, we learn those lessons, and yet we're not attached to them. So some of the messages that we have here that is here right now is heaven is here right now on earth. We are the emissaries of that light. We come from the light. We return to the light, and we are that light. And how we dance together in that light is a mystery. And we all can present ourselves in any way that we want. And that's what becomes exciting, because it doesn't matter if you're an avatar with a guitar or if you're a poet or if you're a musician. In fact, we've got a great musician on our next segment coming up, Levi Chen, who actually plays the cosmic starlight with this Asian harp, Chinese harp, and an electric guitar. He's mixing modalities. And that's what we'd like you guys to do as your own Hierophant. Mix modalities and bring heaven to earth through your own art in your heart.
Wow.
I'm leaving that open for you, Kim.
Ah, I'm waiting on you on more. I thought you could just continue on that. It's so beautiful. I can't even add to it. It's just exquisite.
So we've a lot of exciting things happening since we started the show. We have actually been asked to do a Sunday Mystic Morning Messages service at the Mystic Journey bookstore, which is in Venice, California. We want to invite everybody. It's from 11:11 to 1 p.m. And this is a time to actually get to know the community and ask the community to come forward and be who they truly are and get on their sacred red road, which is their natural giveaway and their responsibility to respond to their environment locally. So what we're going to be doing this Sunday, it's very exciting. We're going to be asking people to bring 2 pieces of fruit to put on the altar, and then we're going to sing and we're going to channel and we're going to do music. And 1 piece of fruit they will eat and take in of themselves at the end of the service. And the other piece of fruit, we want them to go out into the community sometime later that day and find someone that they don't know that they want to feed. So to feed strangers is a message in and of itself. I think it's one of the most holy things that you can do is to physically feed other people.
Boy, I can't agree more. It's a phenomenal act and a gesture, and it's done in the highest principle of nurturance. And that has to be the guiding principle of our planet when we get done with the insane, exploitive, extractive wealth games. We will come back to the sheer joy of nurturance. So I love this idea of going into the community and feeding people. Wonderful.
We're also going to ask people to bring their extra clothes and their extra shoes. And we have an incredible organization called the Disclosure Fest. And what they do is they're going to be picking up our things that we drop off at the Mystic Journey Crystal Gallery, 1704 Lincoln, every Sunday after service. And they're going to go down to Skid Row and they're going to give it to our brothers and sisters on the street. And they don't just hand it to them. They feed them. They look into their eyes. They hug them, they spend time with them, and they share that light, and they tell them that they're loved. And so they leave, and they have new clothes and new shoes and some food. And that tiny little thing of kindness ripples out into our environments and into our communities. And that gift just keeps giving to other people. So I want to inspire everybody listening to the show. If you're not in town with us, please just pack extra food in your car and look forward to meeting those mystical beings on your path as where you go, because you never know who they are. They say that God incarnates sometimes as those magical beings and sees our kindness outpictured. So imagine that you are feeding God. Imagine every single being that you come across has a sparkle of that God light inside. And when you're doing that, you're doing a very, very holy thing.
Sacred acts. Sacred acts in the mystery. This is a way we can put the whole planet together. It's based on the generosity of love and appreciation and gratitude and understanding who all we meet are indeed revelatory of us ourselves. It's beautiful.
We're going beyond our own family. We're going beyond our own personal relationships. And we talked about that for a little bit, and we'll come back and talk more about being more transpersonal with our love and being more, instead of a humanistic love, more of an agape love. So
Very
this is a
key point.
This is Athena StarSeed, and this is a series called Raising Reverence, and we will be right back with our special guest in studio, Levi Chen and Liquid Gardens. Thanks for tuning in.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's to see the memorabilia of movie stars and theatrical magic right in downtown Fullerton, California. See the art of the masters, an Italian town square complete with storefronts of old Italian butchers and cheesemongers, fruit and wine vendors, seamstresses showing their wares, fairy lights from cathedral ceilings, and our ancestors smiling down at you from the family love altar. The romance of Romeo and Juliet, and find the mystical room of the moon. And don't forget King Kong, Dracula, Frankenstein, and who knows what awaits you in the wine cellar. Enjoy the great food. We hand stuff our pastas, roll each and every tortellini, bake our own bread, make our own sauces fresh from our private stock of Sicilian family recipes. From pasta to seafood, chicken to award-winning pizzas, tiramisu flown in from Rome. If you can't find something on our menu to tempt you, you don't like Italian food. Try our Sunday brunch, just $18.95, and Angelo's and Vinci's has been named 2 years in a row Best Italian Restaurant in Orange County. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurant, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022.
Hi everyone, this is Fred Dreyer with some breaking news. My new movie, Highway 395, has just been released. Highway 395 is my latest movie and is now available for all of my friends and listeners to own. Highway 395 is a classic modern-day Western thriller. Action, romance, and the frontier spirit. It's all there in my new movie, Highway 395. Now, here's the best part. You can own this movie tonight by going to my brand new website, freddryer.co. Head to my website now at freddryer.co and check out the trailer. Then order the movie for a great night of entertainment. And while you're at freddryer.co, check out the memorabilia and my career highlights. But don't forget to order my new action thriller movie, Highway 395. So head over to freddryer.co. That's freddryer.co.
From traditional Hawaiian weddings and vow renewals to your own unique ceremony, find out why Ka'anapali Weddings is the perfect place to say, I do. Create the memory that will last a lifetime at the place you and your family know and love, Ka'anapali Beach Hotel. Imagine yourself and your loved one just steps away from world-famous Ka'anapali Beach in one of many wedding venues to choose from, including oceanside lawns, tropical gardens, or indoor banquet rooms. With your choice of catering, bar, floral, and musical options, you can make your special day customized just for you. Their wedding specialist will help you plan your dream wedding today. For more information, visit ka'anapaliweddings.com or call 661-0011. Ka'anapali Weddings, the perfect place to say, I do.
Ka'anapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Supreme grace, lay rain down through me. Supreme grace, lay rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Rain. Supreme grace, lay rain down through me.
Hi, this is Athena StarSeed, and this is a series called Heaven on Earth, and I am the host, and I have my gorgeous cosmic co-host, Kim Hix, Emmy Award-winning set designer. It couldn't be more perfect that we're coming together now because he is an architect and a designer, and he can build anything that he can dream in his mind. And Kim, just tell us a little bit about how you got into actually set building to actually start creating these environments to have people start changing their consciousness.
Well, as I became a set designer, I realized that the set is vitally important as the environment and the context are. And I began to understand that when the actors would show up on my sets and they would act themselves out on the sets. And I remember Peter Strauss coming into this dragon ship I had just finished building for him. And he was looking around and I could see him absorb the environment and then step into practicing his role in that. And when I watched him do it and he was acting out his part, I realized how vital the set is that we create, such as how you created the containment of our event today and made it sacred. And so I began to wonder completely, well, what kind of set will create what kind of enactment? And that's how I came into this wonderful path of like, let's change the stage, let's develop it, let's make it the way we want, and then see who we are.
Exactly. And today, I just want to say that the new Hierophants, the new messages from heaven are coming from our artists and our musicians. So it is so wonderful that I have in studio right here, right now, Levi Chen. And without further ado, let's set our new stage for the musicians with the highest notes to play heaven on earth. Levi Chen. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Oh my God. Okay, Levi Chen, find him on Facebook. He's amazing. And we're getting ready to go. We are getting ready to go to a commercial break. My name is Athena StarSeed, and I am the host of this show, Heaven on Earth, opening up our heart chakras, bringing you the highest musicians, the highest messages, and the highest artivism and activism in our own imagination. We love you, and we'll be back after these messages.
CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was a location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal, marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for two. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Enjoy Tiki Live, the best cable alternative choice today, with hundreds of premium live TV programming, including ESPN, CNN, Fox News, Disney, AMC, Bravo, XF, OWN, and CRN Talk. Plus no contracts and low month-to-month service. Tiki Live, servicing North America, including the Caribbean. To get started, visit tikilive.com to order hundreds of channels, including CRN Talk, at a fraction of what you're paying today. Visit tikilive.com. That's TIKILIVE.com.
Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Rain. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me.
And we are back. My name is Athena StarSeed. If you're just jumping in with us, this is a show called Heaven on Earth. And the purpose of this show is to usher in the Aquarian age of artistry, because I believe the next 1,000 years is going to be filled with peace. And how is it going to be filled with peace? Because we're going to unleash all the artists, all the poets, all the painters, all the writers, all the dreamers, and all the musicians to play those heavenly harmonies. And in studio, we have here with us one of those heavenly musicians. His name is Levi Chen, and he is from Mongolia.
No, I'm not actually from. My wife is from Mongolia.
Oh, you shot in Mongolia.
Yeah, our film was made in Mongolia.
What's your native history?
Of
your
my ethnicity?
Yes, ethnicity.
Yeah. I'm Chinese and Taiwanese, and Taiwan has 12 indigenous tribes on it, and those are the tribes actually that populated Micronesia, which people don't know, Polynesia, Tahiti, Fiji, all this stuff. They trace that through the tattoos before they had the current DNA testing, and then now they've affirmed that through DNA testing. But for sure, I have Mongolian blood in me as well, being from northern China, where my grandmother is from, and yeah, we wanted actually,
Kim, we wanted to talk about the Mongolian tribes because it is in your DNA and it is in your blood, and those were the first monads, right? I'm not monads.
Nomads.
Nomads. Thank you.
Yeah, they were a powerful civilization, one of the most powerful ever, built on the nomadic cultures. And is what I find so fascinating about Levi and what he's up to is he comes as a with all the capability and skill of his people, and now he comes in this glorious halo of peace and consciousness that he's bringing. So this is the opening of the door of the arts, Athena, just like you were talking about, and represents the change. We are going to leave behind forever the warring cultures and the consciousness of extraction and competition and exploitation, and adopt this new one about relationship and revelation, and live lives in a glorious new holistic thing. Levi's a perfect example of this.
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting things that as I learned about Mongolia after meeting my wife and all that stuff, I came to realize that the Mongol culture is so similar to the Native American culture, and that it's looking like there's connections for sure, but that, in my opinion, the Native American culture could have lasted virtually forever, the way that they lived in balance with the earth. Yes. And the Mongol culture, though, is different because they had the same culture. They're nomads. They didn't take more than they needed, except that there was a temptation of these incredible empires next to them, both China and the Middle East, with gold and incredible craftsmanship, whereas the Native Americans didn't have that, so they didn't get as greedy. It was just a continual process. There's always going to be conflict and steal some horses and steal some women and but basically they but beyond that, it wasn't about trying to amass more gold and stuff like that. And the similarities between the cultures is awesome. My time in the wilderness of Mongolia and dealing with the our drivers, who are they're the modern day nomads. I mean, they're just superstars, heroes, and learned a lot from them.
It's absolutely fascinating, Levi. Yes, I think you're right, speaking for the levels of the old paradigm. But of course, I'm pretty hopeful that we can actually get this transcendental global consciousness off the ground in a very powerful way, allowing us all to unlock our individuality and our spirituality, but create the broad unifying factor. I think Oprah's little speech the other day was the first opening salvo in the women putting forward their dream, their collective dream for the entire planet. And I think it's going to include a lot of love. I'm betting on that.
Yeah, love is love is what we need. I mean, that's the union that we all.
Your music totally cleaned out my mind and opened up my heart, and it just was like a beautiful wind blowing through, brother. Just exquisite.
Thank you. It's it's the blessing that I was brought here to share. That's I've known that the whole time. I had it wrapped up in different sort of paradigms, including an older paradigm of, rock star and celebrity, but now I've come to see it's more about, ultimately it's seva, it's service, it's what I do, and it's, what I'm here to share, basically.
I think that's really powerful, because when we look at our typical model of rock stars, they do take all of the energy of the audience, and then it starts to illuminate who they are. That's just like battery light being shared. And when Levi plays, he's able to synchronize the light in the room and take it and then reflect it back to the audience when he plays. So when you leave, you feel a piece of love and grace and harmony greater than before you heard the music. And I think that's just the biggest beautiful giveaway that you can, is just to illuminate people's songs in their own hearts. Levi, how long have you been playing?
Oh, a long time, because I'm getting up there. I mean, I started playing guitar, a long time ago. But I started my career. I made my first album in 1993, and that was called Liquid Gardens. Tao. I call my music Liquid Gardens. So people say, "Oh, you're a musician. What kind of music do you play?" I say Liquid Gardens, and they look at me. Beautiful. They're like, "Well, what kind of music is it?" I say, "Good." Say, but what does it sound like? Liquid Gardens. But what kind of music is it? Good. I think, So, yeah, but I started a long time ago. And, as you said earlier, my 9th album is coming out this year. They're all different, but they all have that same vibe. And Liquid Gardens DAO, I was 28, coming on a Saturn return when that happened. And, it's 60 minutes of ambient guitar. And I thought that the world was going to recognize me as the Chinese Jimi Hendrix. And I just knew
I
that
certainly do. I thought you were.
We all are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I just thought that, it was going to lead to some sort of, popular success, you know what I mean? And of course, that's not quite the way it evolved. But over the time, nine is the number of completion, and I finished my 9th record, and I just understand that I've been totally successful the whole time, and did all the things that I wanted to do. It's never, when we're waiting for these things, or even, Satori, it's like you wait for these things, it's never what you think it's going to be. It's not how you imagined it, but it will come to you nevertheless.
Okay, well, don't just skip over Satori, because I don't think people know what that means. He just says things like the Tao of music, or let's talk about Satori and the Tao.
Well, for me, it is the Tao. So like what you were saying about what happens when I play music. Again, it's evolved over time. What's interesting is that I don't think, for example, you can make a record called Tao when you're 18. And maybe 28 is premature even, and maybe my current age, 54, is premature. Who knows? But I was inspired, the things came to me. So ultimately, the way that I play music across the 2 instruments, or 3 with the chimes, is the Tao. People say, how do you play 2 instruments at the same time? And well, technically, it's a really sophisticated call and response. It's no different than a keyboard player playing a keyboard with 2 hands.
Call and response.
But
yeah.
on 2 separate instruments, but they are stringed instruments. But on the other hand, that's not how I see it. The way that I see it is quite simply, I'm doing one thing, which happens to be playing 2 instruments at the same time. But I'm doing one thing. So
totally getting into the Tao.
Yeah, that's totally the Tao. And then ultimately
flow states.
Yeah, it's the flow. So then, originally when I started my career, it was all about continual improvisation. Whereas at the end of my career, at the later albums, it became all about composition as an art form. Because what happened is, I would have what I call launching pads for my improvisation. Because I was playing on the street for endless hours, I would have these points of departure. That's what I mean by a launching pad. And that would start improvisation. But over years, those things evolved into, okay, well, this is this, and it leads me to that, and then I'm going to go back to this, and then it's going to lead me back to that, but now I found a new way to go there. So that would be the B section, and then here's the transition. So between A and B, I might have 4 different, over time, come up with 4 really wonderful transitions to get from the verse to the chorus, as we call it. But over time, those 4 different transitions sequence themselves naturally. Like, oh, this is always the first transition. Therefore, that's from the first verse to the first chorus. And all these things. So over time, it evolved into composition. But now, coming back to the sound baths that we're doing, I'm not trying to, in different contexts, if I play with my band, of course, I want to perform the material. But in a context of bath or meditation, I'm trying to just feel the room. And because I come from a base of improvising, I have no problem to do that. I just get into the flow and just let it come out. Now, if in its coming out, it takes me to actually reference one of my compositions, that's what's supposed to be. But if it doesn't, it doesn't.
So I want to go back to Satori, okay, because that's what's important. Some of the people that do not understand music theory with an A and a B and a chorus, when we're talking about the Tao, if you have not read the Tao Te Ching, it's about looking at opposites in a singular form. It's about not getting stuck in polarity or duality, good and bad, up or down, in or out, because as above, it is so below. So the 2 sides of the coins become a singular object. And when we get out of judgment, we can see a larger perspective, like we talked about. The eagle perspective can see for miles, and the ant perspective only sees what's in its view. And when we get lost in the sound and we realize we don't judge any of the notes, then that Satori, which is that moment of clear emptiness, that empty mind, we go into an altered state. a dreamless dream state. They call it the state of Turiya. But Satori is that moment that music can actualize, empty us all out, and have us commune with the God inside of us.
Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. Well spoken. Yeah, it's, I feel blessed to be a musician. And, for most musicians, the thing about being a musician is that when you're performing, you're in the moment, and that is the only place
you can be.
That that is the place. That is always the goal. And as a musician, you're automatically in that moment. You make a little mistake or a little funny sound came off the strings, and it's just you just get even closer to the moment because you're like, oh, what happened? But I'm gonna deal with that. You have to, because the song keeps going. You ain't gonna stop, And
the world keeps spinning. You can't get off. You're just in it.
You can't get off. So
Sufi dance with it, right?
Sufi, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the that magic is, and and it's like in any show or any single musical song or a concert or whatever, it's like you make mistakes happen. Not every moment is a peak moment. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a peak moment for 90 minutes necessarily. Maybe you can. But the point is, as a performer, you're going to slip up, or the energy is going to drop down a little bit, but you're just constantly searching for those peak moments. And those peak moments are like a moment of enlightenment and satori, because everything is perfect.
Everything's perfect.
And,
that's the Tao.
That is the Tao. It only is what it is.
That's the way.
And if you accept that it is exactly how it's to be, it is perfect, So I used to say that, if I'm on stage and something terrible happened, the nuclear bomb fell on my head, that's just what's supposed to happen. I know that because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
So you are basically saying that you're in a state of surrender and allowance.
Yes. And so if I'm not on stage, I still feel that way. But, occasionally there's a little doubt can sneak in.
It's easier when you have a soundtrack underneath of you to
yeah. But when you're actually in the moment, there's no way. It's, it is what it is. It is how it's supposed to be.
So, Kim, you've been playing guitar for more than half of your life, too. How does it feel when you get into a moment of satori playing the guitar?
It just becomes the timelessness, the effervescent bubblingness of selflessness. There's something that's so independent of me that comes through. I've always heard musicians talk about it, but when it happens, it's a blessing. It's a state of flow, which is a worthy discussion. But it is a transcendental state, and I think it is a great unifying principle. Timeless, effortless, selfless, and yet rich in exquisiteness, in lucidity.
I think music is the perfect medium to actually bring in higher states of consciousness, because music transcends religion, and it transcends culture and race and creed and just everything. Because once that sound is played, whether you're from Russia or Jamaica or Zimbabwe, you can start tapping your toe and your heartbeat starts getting syncopated to the rhythms. And, I had this vision, Kim. Tell me what you think of this. A huge symphony that we put every single world leader in, and they have to play an instrument. And then we just have you conduct the symphony, and they are not allowed to talk to each other, but they have to play their instruments. What do you think of that?
I think it's brilliant. Let's make that one of the primary tenets of the feminine energy of the planet, to demand that all the men participate in the great orchestra and therefore learn to get along and play and harmonize together. I think that's the mission. That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
I think we can do it.
That's awesome. Actually, every meeting of political leaders and the United Nations should start with a drum circle. It's that simple.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Say that one more time again.
Every meeting of political leaders at the United Nations, etc., should start with a drum circle. It's that simple.
Okay,
everyone gets together.
Let's all visualize that we have the world leaders starting in a drum circle. And I have to tell you, Damien Lichtenstein did a film called Discover the Gift, and he did highlight a woman who went to Iraq, and she did have a drum circle, and she had Israelis and Muslims and a bunch of different other cultures together, and they were all banging drums, and they turned their prisons into music rooms, and they started making their own drums and playing with each other. So it's already been done, and it does work. Let's just get the United Nations to start doing it, right?
I think it's a fabulous concept. Absolutely. I can see the whole planet humming to the new drums.
Yeah. That's it. An Om prayer and a drum circle, heartbeat drums to start all the United Nations meeting. It's a winner.
It's a winner. It's a winner. So you guys, if you're next to a drum circle, start drumming your own rhythms into the earth. We love you. This is Athena StarSeed. This is a show called Heaven on Earth, and we'll be right back after these messages. Thank you so much.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
Hi, friends. This is Larry Manetti. Go to LarryManetti.com to get my book, Aloha Magnum. You'll read all about the wonderful guest stars like Carol Burnett, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and many, many more. There is an episode guide and my favorite recipes that I really cook at home. I will include a free signed photo with every book. Get Aloha Magnum at LarryManetti.com. Order now. Aloha.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808. Wake up today without pain. Wake up every day feeling great. Avi Naturals' new turmeric curcumin, used daily, makes life better, helps relieve those achy joints, gives you the freedom to be as active as you want. Avi Naturals helps you wake up every day feeling great. Go online to avinaturals.com, use promo code CRN and get 25% off your order today. That's spelled AVIE naturals.com, promo code CRN for 25% off. avinaturals.com, CRN.
Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Rain. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Rain.
Hi, this is Athena StarSeed, and we are back. We are heaven on earth. We are creating heaven on earth through our vibration, through our frequency, through our messages. And let's see, just let me know when he calls in, okay? We are waiting to talk to Adrian Valeria, and he has something called the disclosurefest.org. He's on? Okay, come on in. Can we hear him? Can you hear him right now? Adrian? Can you put him outside? Hi, Adrian. You are the representative of the Disclosure Fest. Can you please tell us a little bit about who you are and what the festival represents and what you're doing today? Can you hear him? He's not on? Oh, I thought he called in. Okay, so those of you, who have not been familiar with it, the disclosurefest.org has huge mass initiative festivals. I'm showing them right now to my Facebook friends. There is a little tiny patch inside the city of Los Angeles, and they take kind of the Burning Man vibe that actually shows people how to gift and share in community, to not just party and have a good time, but actually to take it into their own backyard, into their own communities, and to share. Is he online? Okay, Adrian's online. Hi, Adrian. Can you hear us? Yeah, I can. It's his phone. Adrian, hi. Can you hear us? Okay, so today Adrian is going to be locally in Los Angeles planting trees, and he has a place where all of us can plug in, and there are different little drop zones all over the city of Los Angeles where he will actually be able to pick up clothes, shoes, and food to feed our brothers and sisters on Skid Row. And I think that's really important, that we don't just actualize our own life contract, but we see everyone as aspects of ourselves so that they can also be inspired by our own life force to give back. You want to try it again? Adrian, can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I apologize. We're in the top of Santa Monica Mountains.
Can you turn it out
for
so we can hear?
reception, we're doing some tree care. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yes. So go ahead. Tell us who you are, about your initiative, and how we can help you.
Hi, my name is Adrian Valera, part of Disclosure Fest. We are a initiative and community-based nonprofit. And what we do is we just handle our initiatives, which currently we have 4 in the works. We have our Clean Our Air initiative, which is tree plantings, forest restoration, restoring waterways, and habitat for our wildlife. and also we have our beach cleanup initiative, which is basically, like you said, just cleaning up our shorelines and protecting our marine life. We also have a festival, but it's also an initiative, which is called the Mass Meditation Initiative. This year, on June 17th, we had over 4,000 people in Los Angeles State Historic Park join us in this amazing conscious festival that's completely free, where you can come and learn a pure life path. There's over 40 workshops ranging from yoga to meditation to plant-based preparation and herbal science. There's 2 stages, and at 2 p.m. everything gets shut down, so we all go to the main stage and do a live stream global mass meditation. Whereas
Adrian,
we had close to like 7,000 people join in.
Wow. This is amazing.
Fantastic.
I would like for you to come back next week if you can, and we can have you as a guest the whole time on our show, because we've got 15 seconds left and we have to actually end and wrap this show up. But you know what? As the messages of our own life start to take action and we become our own hierophant, we can become the emissaries of that sacred activism. Thank you, Adrian, and thank you, Kim. This is Heaven on Earth.
Hallelujah.
This is Athena StarSeed. We'll see you next
Thanks,
week.
guys. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cable provider and on the web at crntalk.com. But when you're on the move, stuck in a plane, train, or in your car, catch up on all the shows you missed. Or listen live to your favorites.